It's so many ways out there on how to make bikini bottoms, and today I'm gonna show you my way. So these bikini bottoms are made to fit a small to medium size, and I'll be showing you how I made them. So the front is made the exact same way as the back, and then we later added the mesh part of it. So if you are interested in making these, please stay tuned and let's get started. Today we are going to make some bikini bottoms. I already made the top to go with it, and this is it. I used cotton yarn for this, and I mixed in a little bit of my seagull yarn, which is acrylic.
So this is the yarn that I used. I was given this yarn from Germany, so I'm not really sure about the pronunciation for this word, but I googled it and it means cotton yarn. So in this tutorial I'll be using 100% cotton, and this yarn recommends a 3 to 4 millimeter hook, so I'll be using my 3 millimeter hook here, and then it's 50 grams.
So like I said, I'll be mixing in a little bit of this acrylic yarn so that the bottoms can match with the top. So you're going to need your darning needle to weave in your ends, and you're going to need some scissors, and I'll be using this tape measure to show you guys the measurements that I'll be using. So I'll be making a size medium. So you're going to get your 3 millimeter hook and then make a knot like that, and then you're going to chain 10. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So once you have your 10 chains, you're going to grab that very last chain and add 2 more, and then you're going to yarn over, skip those 2 chains you just made, and make a half double crochet in that stitch which you had blocked off. And then you're going to make half double crochets in all the stitches around. Make half double crochet. So make half double crochets. So once you get to the end, you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work. So this chain is not going to count as a stitch, so you're going to yarn over and place a half double crochet in that very first stitch. So insert your hook in there and make a half double crochet. At the end of this row, you should be having 10 stitches. Don't skip that very last one. So place there a half double crochet, then chain 2 and repeat the row we just completed. So for row 3, we're repeating row 2. So chain 2, turn your work and make a half double crochet into that first stitch and in all the stitches around. And you're going to be repeating this
until you have 15 rows for the crotch part. So keep it in mind that we are working on the crotch part, and we want that part straight with no increases or decreases. So yeah, continue with that row
with the second and third row until you have your 15 rows, and then I'll meet you back once you have that completed. So I'm done with my 15 rows for the crochet part, and we are now going to work on the back part of our bottoms, and we're going to be increasing. But before that, I need to show you how long this is, and it is 5 inches long, which is about 13 centimeters. So we're now going to start working on the back part. So to start, you're going to make a chain. So you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to make 2 half double crochets in the same space. So in the very next stitch, you're going to place there 2 half double crochets, and then you're going to place 1 half double crochets in all the stitches until you have only 1 stitch left. So make half double crochets until you have 1 stitch left at the end. And once you get to the end, you're going to place there 2 half double crochets all in the same space. Then chain 2, turn your work, and in the very first stitch you're going to place there 2 half double crochets, and then make 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch until you have only 1 stitch left at the end. And this is going to be the pattern for the back part, and it's actually going to be the same as the front. So what we're doing now is what you're going to do for the front part. So once you get to the end here, don't forget you have to place there 2 half double crochets all in the same space. So what we're doing here is what we're going to do for the front part, until we have as many rows as we want, as you'll be seeing in the video. So continue with that, and then I'll show you how many rows I have made here shortly. I'm back, and this is what I have now. I placed here a stitch marker, and on this row is where I started my increases from. So I made 25 rows from my stitch marker up to where we are right now. I'll take the measurement of how wide it is. So this goes off up to like 10 inches long, and then it goes up to 11 inches long for now. So what we're going to do next is we are going to make it straight. Like we're going to make like 6 or 7 rows of making straight lines. So you're going to insert your hook, chain 2, turn your work, and make half double crochets in each and every stitch around until you get to the end. And when you get there, chain 2, turn your work, and make 1 half double crochet in each space. So we're no longer making the increases because we want to keep this part straight. So make your last half double crochet in the last stitch, chain 2, turn your work, and continue with making half double crochets in each and every stitch until you add 6 or 7 more rows, and then I'll meet you back once you have that completed, and then we can work on our front panel. So this is it now. As you can see, this is what I was talking about. We made this line now straight. So what you're going to do at the end of the row is chain 1 and cut the yarn. Like that. So what we're going to do next is we're going to reattach our yarn on this other side, but before that I'll show you how long this is now. Hold on. So right now it is 13.5 inches long. So we're going to add the front part now. And I have made a total, I have added, like, from where we stopped the increases from to where we stopped here, I added 10 more rows for this upper part, like to keep it straight. I added only 10 rows. So we're now going to reattach our yarn on this other side, and we're going to start the increases just like what we did with the back panel, with the back part. So you're going to insert your hook in that very first stitch. Make a knot and reattach your yarn. So chain 2, that's the beginning of our next row, and then in that same space you're going to make 2 half double crochets in that same space, like that. And then make 1 half double crochet into the next and all the stitches until you have only 1 stitch left. So as you can see, I'm weaving these ends in as I go. So once you get to the end, in that very last stitch, you're going to place the 2 half double crochets, just like what we got at the beginning of this row. Then chain 2, turn your work, yarn over, and in the first stitch make 2 half double crochets. Then make 1 half double crochets in the stitches until you have only 1 stitch left. So this is the last one here. Place the 2 half double crochets, chain 2, and turn your work. And then you're going to repeat that row just like what we did here, guys, for the back part. So you're going to increase the same number of rows you did for the back panel. So what you're going to do is do the same thing we did for the back panel until you have the same rows as the back part, and then I'll show you guys what to do next. Okay. So I've just completed the front part of our buttons, and we're now going to work around the edges making single crochets. So what you're gonna do here is you're going to chain one. Please excuse my nails, I messed them up real bad. So what you're going to do is make single crochets in the rows that you see, like in each row, because there is no specific stitch where you can place a stitch. So just eyeball it and make a single crochet or two in each space. Until you get to the other side, and I'll meet you there. So once you've gone around and rotated making single crochets, then half double crochet for the bottom part here, and doing the same thing this other side, you're going to end with a slip stitch in the very first single crochet you had made, like that, and then chain one and cut the yarn, because now we're going to use our contrasting color. Okay, so now we're going to use our blue color for our second edging. So you're going to grab your blue and make a knot, and you're going to reattach it. You're going to attach it on any of the corners. So you're going to reattach your contrasting color like that. Chain one to secure it. Actually, I'm going to weave this in as I go. So you're going to chain one here, and then you're going to make a single crochet into the next space and into the next. So you're going to continue with single crochets in all the stitches around. Until you get to the next corner, and then you have to cut the yarn and reattach it on the other side, unless if you want this row to have the same color, then you would have to do what we did on our previous row. So you're going to continue with single crochets in each space until you get to the other corner, then cut your yarn and reattach it on the other side and do the same thing. Make single crochets. So let me meet you back once you are done with that, and then we are going to work on our mesh detail for our buttons. We're almost done here. So I can't find the clip for the mesh part. I don't know how I skipped it, but what you're going to do is reattach your yarn, chain 4, and then you're going to skip one stitch and make a double crochet into the next stitch, and then chain 2, skip a stitch and make a double crochet into the next stitch. And you're going to continue with that until you have 10 stitches for the mesh part. And then after your 10 stitches, you're going to chain 4 and then make a double crochet on top of the previous double crochet until you get to the end, and then you chain 4 and repeat that. Sorry about this, guys. So I wanted to quickly show you about on the mesh part. As you can see, I made 5 rows of the mesh on both sides, and when you measure this, it goes up to, it goes up to 14 inches and a half. Yeah, so that is without the stretch. So when you stretch it, it goes up to, let's see, so when you stretch it, it goes up to 17 inches. Okay. So like I said, this is for a small to medium size. So now I need to show you how to join the both sides here. So as you can see, I made 5 rows for each side. So what you're gonna do is, let me take out the chains. So you're going to insert your hook, so you're going to chain up 2, and then you're going to yarn over and make a half double crochet in the very first stitch. So place there a half double crochet, and that's what you should have. And once you're done with that, you're going to yarn over and turn this around and grab the other piece and place there a half double crochet like that, and then you're going to yarn over, grab the second piece and place a half double crochet into the next stitch like that. So as we do this, we are joining the two sides together. And if this is hard for you, you can use your yarn needle to join the 2 sides. Okay, like that. One on one side and one on the other. And you're going to do this on the other side and join it the same way. So that's why it's very important to have the same number of stitches so that everything is even. I got this a little too loose. So as you can see, it's a very nice way to join your projects. Now on the very last chain, please don't skip it. You're going to do the same thing, half double crochet, yarn over and place a half double crochet on the other side as well. it's a bit windy here, guys, please bear with me. After this, you're going to chain one and cut the yarn, and then pull through and pull it tight. So we have now joined these together. Let me know what you think of this kind of joining. So now I'm going to add my mesh on this other side, and then I'm going to join it the same way we just did here, and I will meet you back once we are done with that. So I have joined the other corner as well, and this is what I have. So after joining the second one, you're not going to cut off your yarn, and what you're going to do is we now have to make the mesh around the waist area. So you're going to chain up 4 and then turn your work. And now you're going to go on every double crochet, like on top of this stitch, and you're going to place there a double crochet on top. Chain 2, go on top of the next and make a double crochet, like that. Chain 2, do the same, chain 2, and here you can put it in the same stitch where this one is. And then you're going to chain 2, yarn over, and you're going to skip this chain here, and you're going to place a double crochet in the stitch where the blue one is. Then chain 2, and from here you'll be skipping 1 stitch and placing a double crochet into the next. Chain 2, skip a stitch and make a double crochet into the next, chain 2, and repeat that pattern until you go all the way around. When you get to this mesh part, you're going to do the same thing we started with here, and then I'll be showing you. Well, you'll have to do it and end here from where we started this bottom mesh part that we are doing. So it means you're not going to end it here, you're going to end it here in the middle. So continue with the chain 2, skip 1 stitch and make a double crochet into the next, and repeat that all the way around. So that was my very last stitch, and what you're going to do, remember here we chained 4, so you're going to make a slip stitch on top of in the 3rd chain. So simply slip stitch there, chain 1 and cut the yarn. But you can continue if you want the main color to be the one that goes around the waist, because now I'm going to change color to blue because I want the rest of it up here to be in this contrasting color that we have. So it's very easy. You're going to repeat that row, making 1 double crochet on top of each stitch all the way around until you have as many rows as you want. Going to reattach my yarn here. So chain 4 and make a double crochet on top of the next double crochet, chain 2, double crochet on top of the next double crochet, and repeat that. Repeat that, get to the end and slip stitch, then chain 4 and continue with the same pattern until the mesh is long enough to where you want it to be, and then I'll get back and show you what to do next. So then you end the row with a slip stitch. Then you can cut the yarn and that's it. So I have made, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. 7 rows of our mesh, and you're now going to make a long chain to go around the waist. So just make a chain, and then you're going to use your needle to weave it in. And you're going to do this all the way around. Then I'll be showing you how to attach the fringe. And that's it. Follow the waist, and now I'm going to show you how to attach this fringe. I always split apart these 2 strands, then get your fringe and put it in the middle like that and tie. Make sure it's tight. Then grab another set of like 1 or 2 strands, put your fringe on top of it and tie tight. Then you go ahead and work on the second one, and then you can cut And that's it. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please let me know what you think of these bottoms and the tutorial. Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.